have won it, surely! Oh, it's extraordinary!
Il y a du monde, il y a du monde, il y a Trezeguet. Ah oui, l'équipe de France est championne d'Europe. L'équipe de France est championne d'Europe.
Naturalmente a fazer o remate.
Siamo campioni d'Europa!
There we have it, people. The group stage of Euro 2024 is over. Where we saw golazos, we saw horrible games, we saw history for some nations, and now, on Saturday, begins the round of 16. So, welcome to the video. If you're watching on a replay, please let me know your round of 16 predictions in the comments down below. Are we going to get some upsets? Because Georgia just pulled off one of the best results I've seen in a long time. Yeah, people can say, oh, Michael, it's a Portugal B team, it's the bench. How many of those Georgian players would make that Portugal team? Yeah, exactly. Considering where Georgia were 10 years ago, in 2014, Georgia were 125th in the FIFA rankings. And 10 years later, they are beating Portugal in a European Championship game. That is the stuff of dreams. I am so happy for that nation. And if anybody from Georgia is watching, please, salute to you guys. An incredible team. And now we get to talk about all 8 matchups in the round of 16. We got some good ones. Maybe we have some lopsided ones. And maybe we're going to get an upset or two. Who knows? Who knows, people? It is football at the end of the day. And I think a lot of people, before we get into the predictions, and big up to everybody who is watching live right now, remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. One thing people need to take account when they're talking about these predictions is some of the big teams, they haven't performed. When I'm thinking of Netherlands, Portugal have had maybe one good game. Then Spain have been amazing. Germany looking a little bit shaky against Switzerland. I feel like a lot of these big teams might start performing in the round of 16. Considering that a lot of teams now progress, 16 out of 24 in the European Championships get to advance to the knockout stage, some just say, okay, let's just calm it down, and then we'll really kick into gear in the round of 16. Or is it just the year of 20 years after Georgia won it, we're going to get a surprise winner? It's football, people. Anything can happen. But let's now look at the matchups. Let's get my predictions in, and hopefully, we're going to get some upsets, because I would love to see some upsets here. We're going to start from bottom to top, because I want to end on Spain and Georgia, because that's a very intriguing matchup as well. Let's start off with this one, right? Switzerland and Italy. Now, this should be a very intriguing game. One is Italy have not looked good. Italy have looked good for 45 minutes of this Euros. And maybe the last 30 minutes, I would say, against Croatia. That's when Italy looked good. Other than that, it's been pedestrian. And the biggest question mark I have for Italy heading into this game is, what is Spalletti going to do? What sort of rotation is he going to do? What sort of formation is he going to do? Because that's the biggest question mark I have with Italy. They have decent players. The attack is good. Actually, no, the attack is pretty mediocre. The midfield is good. The midfield has to perform against Switzerland, because Switzerland have everything going on for them right now. Muriakin seems to have found the perfect formula for this team. Their wingbacks are playing amazing. I think Endoy is one of the most underrated players at this Euros. He's playing at an elite level. And you have Granit Xhaka, Freuler. You have an experienced midfield to combat against Italy, who have, Barella, Jorginho, and all these guys. I'm just so fascinated to see what Spalletti will do. That's my biggest question mark heading into that game. No Calafiori. Okay, so who's going to replace him? Maybe Mancini. Is Mancini as good on the ball as Calafiori? No. Is maybe Mancini better? But he is a very reckless defender. If you've not seen him, very reckless defender. That's my biggest concern with Mancini, if he goes into the starting lineup, of course. I think Switzerland, they should feel confident. They have the goal scorers. They have the bench. I have barely seen Okafor at this Euros. Okafor, who's not had the greatest season with AC Milan, he could be an option off the bench. So yeah, Switzerland, they just are such a good team. They're organized, they play good football, and they can play off the ball, with the ball. They have a lot of players that have high IQ. And that's what I like about a lot of these Swiss players. So with this matchup, it's more about what do Italy bring to game more than what do Switzerland bring. We know what Switzerland are going to do. 3, but basically a 3-4-3, basically with Embolo, who's now playing well and is fit. And I think that's a big part, is Embolo being fit. Let's see what Embolo can do. Because if Embolo can find that form, that's going to be even better for Switzerland. Add in Ndoye, add in obviously Granit Xhaka, obviously Akanji playing well to, oh my god, why am I blanking on names here? Fabian Schär. But Italy, Chiesa, he's got to step up big time. If Chiesa does start, he's got to step up big time. What I would like to see from Spalletti is just go to the 4-3-3. Go with the 4-3-3, play Zaccagni on the left side, because Zaccagni clearly, if anybody else can step up, it's going to be Zaccagni. Then play Chiesa, and I don't know who you play down the middle. Scamacca or Retegui, which one of those? I'm just concerned about that right side, because Ndoye really wants to find that space on the left side for Switzerland. So if he's going to exploit that right side of Italy, which we have seen has not been the strongest so far, especially if Di Lorenzo starts, that's where it could get really, really sticky for Italy. But one thing Italy got going for them is they have one of, or the best goalkeeper right now at this Euros in Donnarumma. Because Donnarumma, the level he's playing at is here, and the rest of the Italians are like here, except for maybe Calafiore, and you can add Bastoni there. Those three guys will have to lead this team, and Donnarumma is going to have to come up clutch. So I feel like this game is going to be a very tactical battle. Spalletti will relish this moment. He's never been in this situation. Muriakin needs to understand what happened at the World Cup where they got shellacked, 6-1 by Portugal, gave Gonzalo Ramos a career. Muriakin needs to get his team prepared. Because I think this game is 50-50. You can't really, if people pick Switzerland, I would understand. If you pick Italy, I would understand. But for me, I'm going to go 1-1. It goes to penalties. And I just think there's a way that Italy will do it. I think Italy will do it. Jan Sommer, of course, also a very good shot stopper with penalties. But I think Italy, they're not going to play the most beautiful football. But when everybody doubts them and everybody has question marks, they rise to the occasion. Whereas Switzerland, I think Switzerland are a very good group stage team, very good round of 16 team. But they don't really progress to the quarterfinals in a lot of tournaments. I think this time around, Italy will get the better of Switzerland, and Italy advance to the quarterfinals. Now the next matchup is England and Slovakia. And everybody give your predictions in the chat as well as we're going on. And remember, the most important thing to do is hit the like button on your way in. As we already have 173 people and only 47 likes, you are performing like this manager I'm about to talk about right now in Gareth Southgate. What do we now expect with England? If there's a team you don't really want to play, it's actually Slovakia. Because Slovakia play football. They take risks. Yeah, they're going to take risks, and that could be their downfall as well. Slovakia, even against Belgium, even against Ukraine, even against Romania, the first half, Slovakia are cooking. They're playing wonderful football with Lobotka. Even Harcelin is a very good left winger, one of the more underrated players as well at this Euros. He's been amazing these past two games. That's going to be a problem for England. England haven't faced a team. Okay, they faced adversity against Denmark. But Slovakia, they want to play football. Slovenia didn't want to play football. Slovenia just wanted to get the results and create history for themselves. Same thing for Serbia in that first half. Serbia did nothing. Then the second half, you saw, started creating chances, and now it's a bit rough. So I'm liking the way Slovakia are playing, and they have nothing to. Slovakia have nothing to lose in this game. All of the pressure is going to be on England. And as we have seen with this team, I think it's just more, okay, if we just take away Southgate, and obviously there's going to be all this negativity around Southgate, it's more about how did the players respond. And when the players were questioned by Gary Lineker, especially on Harry Kane, they performed like that against Slovenia. So I'm not expecting anything glorious from this English team. It's just about get the result and move on. Nobody's going to care about how you play as long as you win the title. And I think now, if you look at that bottom side of the bracket, you have Romania, Netherlands, Austria, Türkiye, England, Slovakia, Switzerland, Italy. One of those teams is going to make it to the final in Berlin. Who will it be? I have no clue still. But for England, if they can just find, and I think the one thing Slovakia will allow them is space. And England haven't had a lot of space to play with during the group stage. And they have the players to do it. It's just about Southgate, if he picks that same team and that same team has no chemistry whatsoever, then Slovakia have a chance. But England just have too much quality. I know Southgate is terrible. The guy has no tactical idea on how to get the best out of these players. Bellingham, I don't know what's happened to him in the last 2 games. I don't know what's happened to him. He's been weak, no creativity, nothing. He looks just absolutely dead. He just looks mentally drained, physically drained. So if that's the case, and I did see Phil Foden had to make an emergency to England, and hopefully everything's okay there. But if he's not playing, I would be like, ugh. You know, Foden, okay, he's playing on the left side. He hasn't played the greatest, but you still need that sort of player. I'm just looking at Harry Kane, a dude who needs to step up. He's got 1 goal, and he's not even really tested all of the goalkeepers. I'm looking at Kane. So if you're Slovakia, go into this game and play your football. If Slovakia can play their football and beat England, that's gonna taste even more sweeter. And Calzona is a good manager who's, managed in the Champions League against Barcelona. He's got some experience in high-pressure moments, and so does Southgate, of course, Euro finals and all that sort of stuff. But I just think England have too much. I think it will be nervy. It won't be the greatest of games, but England will somehow win this match 2-0. Slovakia have made it, I think, twice out of the group stage, but never have progressed to the quarterfinals when they've been in major tournaments. And I'm going to go 2-0 England. I think it's a routine victory. It's not going to be pretty, people. It's not. I think now you have to inject that and get that AI generated into your brains. England are not going to play pretty football, but they'll get the job done. And it might have to come down to the bench. Because we saw when Gordon and Palmer and Mainu got subbed onto the field, that's when England looked a lot better. Southgate just needs, when it's going wrong and you say, all right, 60th minute, I need to make a change, he has to just have the cojones to do it. Because if he doesn't, then Slovakia can build into the game, get them more confidence, get more, and then they're realizing themselves like, wait, these guys are not that good. They might have the talent, but they're not that good. So for England, it's just about getting that early goal and not giving confidence to Slovakia, who have a good team from obviously Skriniar to Vavro to Pekarik to Duda to Kuchka to all of these guys. And I'm telling you, Harselin could be a difference maker in this game, but at the end of the day, England will win 2-0. I wish the best for my Slovensko brothers, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Quickly, before we move on to Turkey and Austria, big up to Ben. Thank you for your kind donation, Ben. Really appreciate it. And big up to everybody for your kind donations. Will Southgate put Palmer on the right wing and Mainu in the midfield? The moment they came on, it was electric. Will he bench Saka? He will not bench Saka. Bellingham out of the 10. Foden. Okay, so Bellingham out. Put Foden in the 10. Gordon left wing. Ben, that sounds wonderful. And I fully agree. Although I would probably put Bellingham in the 8 position next to Declan Rice. That's where you're going to see the best of Bellingham. Not in the 10. I think we can see that now in the last 2 games. He doesn't have a connection with Kane. Maybe Foden and Kane have a better connection. I would start Gordon. 100%. He's just, you need that sort of speed. You need that threat down the left side. England, and who's on the right side for Slovakia? It's a 37-year-old, very experienced, has had a great career, Pekarik. And we saw Pekarik, when he went up against Doku in that second half against Belgium, the guy was getting cooked. So if you're Southgate, just watch the game against Belgium and look at the changes Tedesco made to his team. Belgium should have still gotten a draw in that game. They were just terrible in front of goal. But I do agree with you, Ben. He needs to make these changes. I just don't think he's going to do it. But we'll find out on the 30th of June in Gelsenkirchen what Southgate... It basically comes down to Southgate. It's not about talent. It's the managers. But big up, Ben. Thank you for your kind donation. And big up to Paranos as well. Thank you for your kind donation. Says, Kvaratskhelia showed up when it mattered most. We're going to talk about Kvaratskhelia in a moment, people, because that's why I'm wearing the Napoli kit. Respect the ballers. He might have been bad for the first 2 games. Kvara showed up when it's needed most. And isn't that what we always remember with players? We always remember players when your backs are against the wall and you need to perform. Kvara did that. But big up, Paranos. Thank you for your kind donation. Really appreciate it. All right, last one from Ben. Thank you very much. Do you think the FA is pressing South to play the team as is? I really do wonder, because I have to believe he knows the team is struggling. Ben, I think he's pressured by the FA and by the media. He's pressured by the media in saying that all of these guys have played extremely well at club level. How come they can't fit together? And he's like, oh, actually, you know what? That sounds really good. Foden's been balling out at Man City. Bellingham's been balling out at Real Madrid. Southgate is not building a team. He's building a social media team based on the selections he's had in his starting 11. So I would agree to that in an extent, Ben, that Southgate now he needs to take control. He needs to realize the situation. If he doesn't get this right, England could be facing a 2016 repeat. They could. But big up, Ben. Thank you for your kind donations. All right, let's get to the third game of the round of 16, people. Türkiye and Austria. This is going to be the best game of the round of 16. Bookmark it here. Clip me all you want. This will be the best matchup of the round of 16. This is going to be sensational. They played against each other in March. Do you want to know the result? I know it was Türkiye. It was kind of like a mixed up team. Austria won 6-1. Austria won 6-1 against Türkiye back in March. And that's when I said, oh no, these guys are for real. Türkiye, you cannot trust this. They are the greatest team to watch as a neutral. They are so entertaining. I love Türkiye as a national team because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, the game today against Czechia, I thought they were going to bottle it for a second. It was 1-0 up with a red card. They were up. I was so confused. I was like, there is no way they're going to do this again where they bottle it. But Tosun gets the dagger and Türkiye win 2-1. Now they're going up against Austria. And what is the one thing we have seen with Austria? Press, 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 counter press, and midfield is cooking. With Nico Seifeld to Sabitzer, Arnautovic needs to step up. Arnautovic, they have all these goal scores. The key here for Türkiye is their guys got to step up. Çalhanoğlu, what a goal he scored today, by the way. The technique is insane. If Hakan Çalhanoğlu can play like that, like he did today as a captain, Türkiye have a chance. But their defense is such a liability. How can any goalkeeper that puts on the Türkiye kit turns into the worst version of Karius? Again, another mistake today. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what player is in goal. They'll make a mistake. They'll make a mistake. But I really like this Turkish side. I think they have a lot of good players, from Güler to obviously Yildiz to Yilmaz, who's he does a lot of work off the ball. I like that about Yilmaz. But they can simply not defend. They can't defend Türkiye. And if you can't defend against this Austrian team who will create chance after chance after chance, and yes, sometimes they're not going to be as clinical as they should be in front of goal, but Austria are just such a damn good team. They are well drilled. I think Türkiye are a team that are built on moments. They're built on the individual talent they have, and they definitely do have individual talent from Arda Güler, Çalhanoğlu, and all of these guys. But I think it's more about Austria are a team. They have a system. They have a manager, and the players believe in the manager. And the manager is very experienced. He might not have experience in international football, but he's been working in football for such a long time. He exactly knows what's going to happen. Oh, is Güler not going to play? Did he get a red card at the end of the game? Let me check that quickly before we continue. I need to check. Because if Güler is not going to play, then, I mean, I don't know if Türkiye have a chance. He got a yellow card. So is he suspended then? He got a yellow card. Yeah, I think he got a yellow card. So it says that I guess he's going to play. Well, anyways, if Güler plays or doesn't play, Austria are winning this game. They're just a better team, more well-drilled. The only way Türkiye are going to win this game is if they outscore Austria. That's the only way. I don't trust that defense one bit. Not one bit. You can put 5 defenders, 6 defenders for Türkiye. They will concede a goal. They will. They just have those moments of lapse of concentration where you just think to yourself, how are you allowing this goal? But they play attractive football. Both teams play very attractive football. Karaoglu, one of my favorite players at this Euros, is very good. But yeah, Austria, they're just a machine right now. They're working so well. And Sabitzer continues playing like this. I mean, Sabitzer, if Austria go far in this tournament, Sabitzer could be player of the tournament. He's been playing amazing throughout this group stage. So for me, I'm going to go Austria. And this is no disrespect to Türkiye. They're a fun team to watch. I'll say this again. This is going to be the best game of the round of 16. No doubt about it. And Austria win this game 3-1. The atmosphere is going to be electric. It's going to be electric. Big up Doran. Thank you for your kind donation, buddy. He says, Romania will win the Euros. Well, we're going to now talk about Romania. Are they going to beat Netherlands, people? Are they going to beat Netherlands? Because that would be insane. That would be insane. Oh, my God. Romania versus Netherlands. I don't know what to make of this matchup, people. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Because Netherlands, they're just such a frustrating team. They have all the talent in the world, people. They do. But their manager is so clueless on what is actually the proper formation to play. What is the proper personnel to apply with this formation? They have the talent. But Ronald Koeman he's a bit clueless. The only way the Dutch are going to go far in this tournament is based on individual talent. That's the only way. It's not because of tactics or coaching. It's because of the individual talent they have in their team. From Gakpo, Xavi Simons, Reinders, even Memphis Depay got a goal. So that's really going to help with his confidence. And he's going to have to step up because the one thing Romania have is two very good center backs. I mean, Dragozin is a beast. Is an absolute beast. The only worry I have for Romania is they played amazing against Ukraine, not so good against Belgium, and today they just went toe-to-toe with Slovakia and it finished 1-1. I mean, both teams just stopped playing after the 80th minute. They were just said, cool, we're going to take the draw here. Gentleman's agreement, we'll both move on. That was hilarious, the celebrations at the end for both of the teams. The thing for Romania is they need their forwards to step up. The only goal they scored today was a penalty. And for me, it wasn't a penalty. I mean, people can disagree. I don't think it was a penalty. But hey, you got to put the penalty in the back of the net. They did that. But Romania have nothing to lose, actually. They don't. How many people would say that Romania would top their group? If Romania had finished third in their group, they would actually play England. Or if they finished second, who would they have played? Actually, no, they would have played France. So this is a great opportunity for Romania. You have nothing to lose. The pressure will be on the Dutch. Go out there and just play your football. If they can be a physical team like they were in that first game, just be a physical team. Don't allow this Dutch team time on the ball. They have a lot of good technical players, the Dutch. But when they face adversity and when you quickly counterattack them, and that's a thing I saw very much against Austria, is when the Dutch have to defend in transition, struggling big time. Also Poland, struggling big time. Romania are a team that thrive on the counterattacks. And they've been doing so well during qualifiers and during this European Championship that Romania have a chance here. I don't really know who's going to win this game, if I'm going to be honest. For me, I think it's 50-50. People can say, oh, Michael, it's just Romania. What have they proven to you? I think they've proven to everybody. Even in qualifiers, they beat Switzerland. They drew with Switzerland 2-2 after being 2-0 down. They're showing to you that they can be a stubborn team. They're not going to give up a lot of goals. They only gave up 2 goals in the group stage. 1 to Belgium. No, sorry. Yeah, 3 goals, so excuse me. So, Romania are a good team. But when you go up against Netherlands, you got to take it to a next level. Will the lack of experience in these big moments... The Dutch have players that have played in the round of 16 of the Euros, where they lost to Czechia. Remember that, people? They lost to Czechia. The Dutch, they've made it to the quarterfinal against Argentina, one of the best World Cup games I've ever seen. So they've been in these pressure moments. The Romanian players, they haven't been in this pressure moment. So I wonder how they will respond. This is what I'm thinking, and I'm still going to go with the Dutch. I think it's going to be a nervous game. No disrespect to my Romanians. I think they've been a very good team, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Netherlands. Just 2-1. That's all I'm going to say. But I don't have a lot of confidence in this team. They don't give me confidence defensively. They can score goals, but it's just defensively I'm very, very worried about. All right, let's move on to France and Belgium. Do either of these teams give you confidence? Do either of these teams give you confidence? No, they don't. Did you just see what happened to Belgium at the end of the game today? Bro, that changing room, that team is just Kardashian FC. It don't matter if Courtois is there or not. Belgium are just Kardashian FC. They want the drama. They want the headlines for the wrong reasons. The fans are booing. There is a toxic atmosphere at the moment. Toxic atmosphere. And when Belgium actually had to defend in this group stage, liability. Wout Faes, liability. How's a 37-year-old Vertonghen going to do against, whoever plays at striker, whether it's Mbappe or maybe Deschamps will go for Giroud. Who knows? We'll talk about Deschamps in a second. But Belgium are just, you cannot trust them. And it's not about golden generation or anything like that. You cannot trust them. They can be good. It's like Gattuso says. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. That's exactly the Belgium national team right now. You don't know what you're going to get. But they have the players. If Doku can play amazing, all right, they got a chance. What about, obviously, Lukaku? Lukaku had a terrible game today. It just looked like everything was off for him. But in the first two games, his hold-up play was amazing, I thought. It's just his finishing that was the biggest problem. Yeah, you can make fun of his finishing, but his overall play was pretty good. It's just the problem of the finishing. But he needs to step up in this game. What about KDB? I think KDB today was actually great. He made 3 incredible passes behind the defense. It's just the teammates didn't execute it. But I'm just super worried. If it's Castagne against Mbappe or even Barcola, oh boy. Oh boy. And how does Deschamps now? Because France have scored 1 goal. And it's been a penalty. They don't look good going forward. The one thing France have going for them is defensively they look solid. Yeah, okay, Upamecano made that one mistake. One mistake, and everybody's like, oh, here he is again. Upamecano has been good. Saliba has been good. Obviously, Theo Hernandez, you got Koundé. So I'm not really worried about France defensively. I think they're just going to try and 1-0 way there to the final. Or try and lift the trophy. That's the only way I see France winning this tournament. They're not going to outscore opponents. But I tweeted this out. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links to those are in the description down below. I said that France, in 2018 World Cup, they didn't play great football in the group stage. They were struggling against Peru, struggling against Austria, struggling against Denmark. And what did they do? They turned it up in the knockout stage of the World Cup and won the World Cup. They were not the most flashiest of teams. That's not Deschamps football. Same thing in 2016 Euros. They beat Ireland. Was it penalties, I think? They beat them out. No, second half, Griezmann scored 2 goals. Quarterfinal, I can't remember exactly who they played. Semifinal, Germany 2-0. Final, they lost. So during the Deschamps era, it's not about pretty football. The only time we saw pretty football was a couple of minutes against Switzerland in the round of 16 because Benzema, Pogba, Mbappe were just playing on the streets. They were just oozing the confidence. But France, they're going to have to rely on Mbappe getting those goals. They have to. He's got to be more clinical. He hasn't been clinical. He's had a lot of good opportunities against Poland. He had a couple of decent opportunities. Skorupski made some good saves. Obviously, Austria had that 1-on-1 where he didn't even hit the target. So, I don't think the problem is France, okay, are they really lacking creativity? They're not playing slow. They're not playing like England where it's just grandpa football. It's just about the final product. Either Dembele with the crosses. Dembele, the guy is just such frustrating because he moves so well with the ball. It's just his crossing or his final pass is atrocious. That's his problem. And I wonder what Deschamps is going to do with the midfield. Is he going to play Tchouaméni, Kanté and Griezmann in the 10 to help with the creativity? There's a lot of question marks for both teams heading into this game. But I'm going to trust France because France have done it before. France have Belgium's number. And Belgium, I can't trust. I'm going to go France 1-0. That's what they're going to do. They're going to win this game 1-0 and advance to the quarterfinals. If this game somehow ends up being like the round of 16 for France in the 2018 where they won 4-3 against Argentina, I would be shocked. Because I don't think this French team is going to allow a lot of chances. But France are going to win this game 1-0. It's not going to be pretty, but it's about getting the job done. It's about getting the job done. Big up Hitman. Thank you for your kind donation, buddy. Really appreciate it. Thank you all for your kind donations. France at least create clear-cut chances. They will find their shooting boots. And this is the thing, Hitman. I think people are critical of Deschamps and this team, and rightfully so. With this amount of talent, the only goal you have scored is a penalty and an own goal? Huh? What? Wait, where? Where's my guy?
Love this game.
That's horrendous. That's abysmal. So, I don't think the problem is clear-cut chances or it's just about the finishing. I'm more concerned on who's going to play striker for France. I'm not about this play Mbappe at the striker position. No. Play him down the left wing. Mbappe, you're not a striker. Get that into your head. You are not a striker. You are a left winger, and you're damn good at it. Probably one of the best in the world. You and Vinny, we'll see about Vinny with Brazil, because Vinny with Brazil just got locked up by 2 Costa Rican players. But I'm just more intrigued, and I want to hear your thoughts if you're French. Who would you play at striker? Are we going to go with Giroud again? I mean, Marcus Thuram hasn't taken that spot, so I guess Deschamps is going to go with the tried and trusted. Dembele, Giroud, Mbappe, Griezmann in the 10. But I just wouldn't trust Giroud, man. The guy is a good impact sub. Not starting. Come on, not starting. But hey, we'll find out in this game. This game is more like, I don't know what's going to happen. It could either be France just destroy Belgium, or France just get a narrow 1-0 win, or Belgium somehow do it. I really don't have any faith in Belgium, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know even Belgian people have faith. They're freaking booing their team. That's how low it's getting right now. But big up, man. Thank you for your kind donation. And everybody, get your predictions in the chat. If you're watching a replay, I want you to hit the like button. Get your predictions in the comments down below. Do you think Belgium could beat France, or do you think France are just a better team and they always beat Belgium? Is that what's going to happen here, people? Let me know your thoughts. And if we can get to 100 likes, that would be fantastic. No, actually, 200 likes, because we're on now the knockout stage of the European Championship. Next up, Portugal and Slovenia. Roberto Martinez is... I get it, people. I get it. It's a B team today. It's a B team today. Portugal were so bad. I mean, if you want to criticize England and France, criticize Portugal today. They were terrible. I don't care if it's a B team. Those guys off the bench should be actually trying to make a statement for themselves and saying, we should be starting. And none of them did that. Roberto Martinez, I mean, there's a reason why I don't think Portugal can win this Euros. I had them third favorites behind England and France, but my confidence is just going down, 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 down. If Portugal dare lose to Slovenia, by the way, shout out to all my Slovenians. This is their first ever game in a knockout stage. You know who else was there? Like, Slovenia have nothing to lose in this game. It's the same thing as Slovakia. Yeah, same thing as Slovakia and Georgia. These teams have nothing to lose. That is the worst opponent to play against in the knockout stage, because you have all the pressure. I'm not sold on Portugal, but their talent will just carry them through this game. Where their tournament starts might be the quarterfinal. If Slovenia somehow do this, if Šeško, who hasn't been, I think, the best Šeško that we can know, but I mean, Sporar, I really like Sporar. Sporar is a really, really good player, in my opinion. He does a lot of work rate off the ball, really unselfish player. He just understands his role on this team. You know, you have Zerin, Elsnik, a lot of these guys are good players. But the problem for Slovenia will be, and I'm just looking at which player was suspended. It was Jansa, the left back. He's a very important player down that left side. I mean, what do you do with Ronaldo? And it's not just Ronaldo. What do you do with this front line? People were telling me, oh, Leao is garbage, Leao is this, Leao is that. What did the players off the bench do today for Portugal? Nothing. To me, it's just Roberto Martinez. And now, clearly, he doesn't know what his best team is. He doesn't know which formation to play, tactically how to do it. If Portugal can just speed up the play, and play down the middle, they will score the goals. They will score the goals because they have the quality in the midfield. I love Vitinha. Bruno Fernandes, I don't think he's a world-class player, but he's a good player. You got Ronaldo. Ronaldo's got to step up in this round of 16. He hasn't scored in the group stage, and I'm not trusting Gonzalo Ramos. Either it's Ronaldo or Jota starting in the striker position. You have your pick on who you think should start, right? I would still go with Ronaldo, but you can clearly see the off-the-ball movement is there. It's just about the link-up play. And he had a good link-up play, I thought, against Czechia. But today, against Türkiye, I think Türkiye, we saw Ronaldo off the ball was great. But he's got to get the goals. As a striker, what is the number one thing you're supposed to do? And you get heavily criticized on. It's about the goals. And he hasn't gotten the goals yet. But Leao's got to step up. I don't want to see Cancelo. I'm sorry. I know he will start. I don't want to see Cancelo. If I'm Slovenia, when you look at Portugal, just attack down that right side. Don't go down the side of Pepe. Because Pepe at 41, I don't know what drugs he's on. But Pepe at 41 is better than most center backs at this Euros. Pepe is insane. Insane. So I'm really fascinated to see how Portugal really just set up. Portugal will win this game. If they dare lose to Slovenia, oh my God, Roberto Martinez might be one of the biggest frauds we will ever see in football. And how he gets so damn lucky to go from that generation to this generation and to fumble it. Oh boy. But as much as I like Slovenia, they have they're just an organized team. That's the one thing I like about Slovenia is they're organized. They have good players. And obviously you have an amazing goalkeeper in Jan Oblak. But Janza is a big miss. I think I need to reiterate that. Janza is a big miss. If Sporar and Šeško can have the best link-up play like they did against Denmark, I think that's where we saw the best of the two strikers combining, was between those two teams. Oh boy. But somehow Portugal will win this game 2-0. They will win this game 2-0. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be frustrating at times. But I think they're going to conserve their energy. And now we're going to see the best of Portugal. I hope so. Because they have so much talent. If this somehow gets ruined by this manager needs to go ASAP. Needs to go ASAP. And if I'm Šeško, you're looking at Cancelo. Like I said, for Slovenia, tactic-wise, don't go down the left side of Portugal. You got Nuno Mendes and Pepe, who are two very good defenders. Go down the side of Cancelo. That's the weakness of this team. But Slovenia, wish the best. If somehow Slovenia pull this off, oh my God. Because they were in the same group as Finland for the Euro qualifiers. I will say Finland were in the toughest group in Euro qualifiers by far. That's why they didn't qualify. So, let me know your predictions, people. Do you think Portugal struggling in the last game is nothing? I'm not going to read too much into the last game. It's just about what will be the starting lineup for Portugal. We'll find out. Germany and Denmark. Germany and Denmark. The one thing I want to say with Denmark is they're missing Morten Hjulmand. Morten Hjulmand, who I think has been a beast. Morten Hjulmand has been a beast in these group stage games. Obviously scored the ridiculous goal against England. Højbjerg has played amazing. Eriksen even showing his quality. I did say this in my reaction video yesterday for the Denmark and Serbia game. Rasmus Højlund has been one of the biggest disappointments in this group stage. I was really hoping that we could see a good Rasmus Højlund. A good link-up play. But Rasmus Højlund has been struggling big time. I think what Denmark has developed is they are a very difficult team to break down. The two goals is sloppy play from Christiansen, and that's why Christiansen is on the bench. And then a corner kick, Jansa, and obviously Christiansen. Oh boy, man, he's had a howler in this group stage, hasn't he? So Denmark, otherwise, they're an organized team. Vestergaard to Joachim Andersen to Christensen with obviously Schmeichel. You have a good defense, and the goalkeeper is settled there. So I think Germany are going to find it very difficult to break down Denmark. Denmark are just going to hit them on the counter-attack, and we'll see with Kasper Hjulmand will do with the forward line. I think every other position is good, but it's just about that attacking line is you're going to play on the counter-attack. Which players is most effective for the counter-attack? You got to give one more chance to Højlund. Maybe Højlund can shine in this game, but oh man. I'm not too sure about it. I think for Germany, people were very critical of them after the Switzerland game. Like, oh my God, we cannot win this Euros. Our fullbacks are a liability. What about Kai Havertz, the Fulkrug? What are we doing there? I think Germany are still a very good team. But I'll ask this again, and I asked this on the community post. Who would you start? Füllkrug or Kai Havertz? For me, I would start Füllkrug, but that's just my opinion. I think Nagelsmann will continue going with the same team. He will go with Kai Havertz at the striker position, and that's the most effective way of going about it. Because Kai Havertz, yeah, his finishing and overall play hasn't been the greatest, but I guess this is such a system-based sort of national team right now with Julian Nagelsmann that Kai Havertz is the answer, and that Füllkrug is just he's just that missing piece. If you need something off the bench, Füllkrug is that guy, and I think Germany will still cruise to victory. They're going to be frustrated, Denmark closing those passing lanes. Maybe Wirtz and Musiala will feel a little bit frustrated, but Germany will still find a way because they have that quality and they still are playing very good football. They can attack you down the middle, down the wing with Mittelstadt or Kimmich. They can put in the crosses. And one of those crosses, or Gundogan stepping up, or Kroos finding that pass into Musiala, and then we see Musiala magic or Wirtz magic. I think Denmark will find it very difficult. They haven't played an attack like Germany. England were slow. Serbia were stale. Slovenia showed good moments in the second half, and that's where I saw Denmark really rattled during this group stage. Germany, for me, they win 2-0. But hey, maybe Denmark can pull a surprise, but they got the momentum, Germany. At the Westfalenstadion, you know who's scoring a goal. Niklas Füllkrug. Guarantee it. It will be Niklas Füllkrug who scores that golazo. Give me a second, people. Before this whole operation dies out. There we go. All right, now the last game of the round of 16. We have España against the debutants, Georgia. First off, everybody needs to be having clapping emojis for Georgia right now. It has to be clapping emojis. What Georgia have pulled off is simply outstanding. The football they play, I don't care if people say it's defensive, they got lucky. Georgia are just such an organized team. I'm so happy for this nation because they were 125th ranked 10 years ago. The rise of Georgia, that moment when they qualified and everybody runs onto the field and just the euphoria and everybody's crying and they thought to themselves, we would never reach this moment. And now they get to the group stage. They play the best game of the group stage, a fearless approach against Türkiye. And you thought to yourself, oh, them conceding that last minute goal, is it going to backfire? That showed me when Mamardashvili went up for that corner kick. I said, no, this team, they're here to win. Not to win the European Championship, but to win a game at least. All right? They had that last minute against Czechia where they should have scored. Okay, they rolled their luck, and Mamardashvili stepped up big time. I think he made the most saves ever in a Euros game. I could be wrong. I think it was some stat like that. Or maybe it was a half. Maybe some stat like that. Mamardashvili is an amazing goalkeeper. It is an amazing goalkeeper. I mean, Valencia and Peter Lim right now is just seeing in his eyes, he's just seeing money. Just money raining. Because the stock of Mamardashvili is just going rise, rise, rise. Right now, probably his market value is 60 to 70 million. 50 million if we want to go there. Amazing goalkeeper. But Mamardashvili is going to be a very, and I mean a very, very busy man against Spain. Because Spain, I would say alongside Austria, are playing the best football. Everybody knows their role. You got Nico Williams to Lamine Yamal. But Georgia could be a very stubborn team with their back five, and every player is just strong. Strong with the tackles, organized. They know when to go for the tackle. It's not like it's a reckless approach where pressing. No, but Georgia just allow possession to the opponents. But when they get that ball, play it through Kvara or play it through Georges Mikaldadze. I'm trying to pronounce that name correctly. I just really like this Georgia team. And I would give them a 30% chance in this game. If Kvara can play the way he did today, and remember people, they played against each other in the qualifiers. So they're very familiar, and Georgia are very familiar with a lot of these players. But in the qualifiers, I'm just going to remind myself, Spain won 3-1 and 7-1. And I remember that 7-1 game because it was Lamine Yamal's first goal for España. I don't think there's any suspensions for anybody from either team. Actually, no, Rodri was suspended against Albania. So we're good here. I think Spain will win this game, though. They just got the quality. It's not like Luis Enrique football where it's just possession. Okay, let's just rotate it left to right, left to right. No, they have a purpose. They're a very direct team. If they can catch Georgia out of their system, because Willy Sagnol has built a wonderful system. They got the 5-3-2, and they just force teams down the middle. But the one problem is in this game is Spain have that quality in the middle with Rodri, Pedri, and Fabian Ruiz has been playing amazing football so far. He's been playing amazing football. They just got to be clinical, Spain. They were not clinical against Italy. They were not clinical, I thought, against Albania, where they had a couple decent opportunities. The one time they were clinical was against Croatia, and they won 3-0. They're going to have to be clinical against Georgia. You cannot give this Georgian team the belief, and more belief, because these players now, they have nothing to lose either, Georgia. You saw that moment when they realized they beat Portugal 2-0. That was their World Cup. That was their Euros. They said to themselves, we have achieved everything here. Now, let's see what they can do. If they can pull off this would be greater than Iceland 2016. Because England were a mess back then. England were not playing good football. They were scrambling and just going through the motions against Slovakia, Wales, and Russia in that group. If Georgia can do this while beating Spain, who have been arguably one of the best teams, my God, it would be some upset. And anything is possible in football. I just love this Georgian team. Kvara and Georgios Magaudatse. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right. I'm absolutely butchering it, am I? He's the top goal scorer. He's got 3 goals. And him and Kvara, the link-up play, the hold-up play. Did you see some of the techers that Georgios was doing today? Nutmegging, I think it was Ruben Neves. And Ruben Neves was like, oh, that guy is good. Oh, no, that guy is good. So, yeah, I really love this Georgian team. But Spain are a machine right now. They're a machine. They're a machine, and I'm gonna go 3-1 Spain. I think Georgia can get a goal. I'm not fully sold on this Spanish defense, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they were tested against Italy. Yeah, their pressing was amazing, but they were not tested. They were not. Spain against Croatia were tested, and if Croatia just had their shooting boots, Croatia would have scored 1 or 2 goals in that game. But instead, they just decided not to show up in front of goal. And Albania had a couple of decent opportunities, even though it was a rotated team for Spain. So Georgia can definitely get a goal in this game, but I feel like Spain will just be clinical. Maybe all the emotions Georgia had for this matchup against Portugal, that was everything for them. If they did that, boom. All right, people. 3-1 Spain is my final prediction right there. So there's the round of 16 predictions. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Do you think Georgia can upset Spain? Do you think Slovakia can upset England? What about Turkey and Austria? That's going to be the best game of the round of 16, in my opinion. That's going to be high-scoring, emotional football. Oh, I cannot wait for it. And what about Belgium and France? What about Belgium and France? Let's see what's going to happen here. Secret cousin, huh? Secret cousin. All right, last super chat and then we head out. Thank you all for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. If we can get up to, how many likes are we on? If we can get up to 200 likes, that would be fantastic. And if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. We have daily Euro content and daily Copa America content. And tomorrow or Friday, I'm going to release a video where I'm going to talk about should the Euros go back to 16 teams or should it increase to 32 teams? Because that was an interesting discussion and debate I saw on social media today. Big up to Ben again. Really appreciate it, Ben. Really thank you for your kind donations, buddy. This Spain team reminds me of Spain 08. Play through the middle, Rodri for Busquets, and the wingers create chaos for midfield to make run nines are false like an 08. But the one thing that's the difference here, Ben, is one team had Alvaro Morata and the other team had Fernando Torres. A prime Torres, by the way. Torres in 07-08 was great. But yeah, I do see some quite familiar traits between the sides. The only difference is that Spain team in 08, they could defend. This Spain team, I'm still not sold on it. I'm still not sold on it defensively. Carvajal is a good defender. Obviously, Cucurella has been amazing. But when they have been tested in this group stage, they have faltered. But I do see some familiar traits. Yeah, obviously, David Villa was amazing, bro. David Villa. What a player, man. When you need a clutch moment, David Villa stepped up. Does this Spanish team have that sort of player within them? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to see what Lamine Yamal is made of. If Lamine Yamal has a stinker in the round of 16, I'm not going to crucify him. That dude is 16. He's studying about atoms and stuff like that and balling out at night. Nico Williams. I think it's, Nico Williams. I was trying to think, was it his, did he get selected in the World Cup? He might have, but he definitely didn't play in the round of 16, or I could be confused. Maybe he played in the round of 16 against Morocco. I can't remember quite well. So yeah, there is some similar traits, but I mean, Ben, that 08 Spanish team, that was their golden generation. That was the golden generation, and we just saw that team. They destroyed, was it Russia in the semifinals? They were so amazing in that final against Germany, even though they only won 1-0, but that game was so good. The back and forth with Germany with their midfield of Schweinsteiger and Lahm was amazing in the Euros 08. I mean, what a final that was. But the problem is, if Spain want to win this Euros, their forward line, and I'm just specifically looking at El Capitan Alvaro Morata, he needs to step up. That's the biggest question mark. If he could step up, Spain can win this Euros. But they cannot overlook Georgia, because Georgia are playing with house money now. They got nothing to lose. They got nothing to lose. This is the greatest moment, and yeah, greatest moment for Georgian football. And I hope they can do it. Because that would, if Georgia pull off this upset, oh my God, that would be insane. Very, very much insane. All right, everybody. Thank you all for your kind donations. Big up to Ben, big up to Doran, big up to Hitman, big up to everybody for your kind donations during this stream. Big up to Paranils as well for your kind donation. And thank you all for tuning in. Most important thing you do is let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And of course, we'll be doing watch-alongs and match reactions to the round of 16. Well, maybe some people say international football is boring. And maybe that's the case when you watch England. But for me, this is the best moment as a footballing fan. As a neutral, of course. This is the best moment. Because now we're going to see which players step up and which players fold on the occasion. We're going to find out on Saturday. And the first game is Switzerland, Italy. So we'll probably be doing a watch-along for that. So join me for that. Now it's time for me to watch Copa America. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. And hit the like button on your way out. And enjoy the rest of the Euros, people. Adios.
Intenta irse por velocidad. Here's Hammett, and he may get worse. It's Nihat! Turkey have won it, surely! Oh, it's extraordinary!
Il y a du monde, il y a du monde, il y a Trezeguet. Ah oui! L'équipe de France est championne d'Europe! L'équipe de France est championne d'Europe!
Voor haar hebben. En voor zijn rebote.
Goal! Goal!